Tarot Sphere, it's Holly from Cape Cod Creatures, and it is day 21 of Ethony's 31 Days of Tarot Challenge. And tonight's prompt is share some of your favorite deck storage. So I don't have any particular favorite way of storing decks. They just sit on a shelf right up over there and in their original boxes for the most part. So I'll just give a shout out to some of my favorite decks and the way they came packaged. So first we have the Spirit Cat deck by Nicole PR of Ghost Kitten Art, and it came in this cute velveteen bag with this awesome little brass key. And the deck itself is in a completely finished clamshell, complete with a nice printed insert on the inside, and it came with a wooden yes or no coin and this amazing piece of tumbled amethyst. So that is how this deck stays packaged. I basically put it all back the same way it came. Another one of my favorite deck presentations was the White Sage Tarot. Came tied up in this cloth that is made from recycled fabric and dyed with recycled material from temples. And it came with a sprig of sage and a little, the twine, and this little guy was hanging out in the box and he was totally adorable. So that is another one of my favorite pieces of deck storage. I, of course, have to give a shout out to the Rebel deck, which came in this really cute fishnet stocking type netted bag. I will say, however, that this bag it's very impractical if you're carrying this deck with you in your purse and your purse happens to be filled with junk and sand, which if you live on Cape Cod tends to happen. So if you are going to take this deck with you, it's a good idea to have a different kind of thing to put your deck in. So speaking of, I will mention I do have a small handful of deck bags, and I tend to rotate, which I got this bag off of Etsy, and I'll post a link to the shop once I find it. I'll stick it in the descriptions. I don't know why I can't think straight tonight, but anyway, this is usually, I use these bags usually for decks that are coming along for the ride, so to speak, because I've got a big giant purse and I throw a handful of decks in there wherever I go. So mostly the Llewellyn decks, or the decks that come in the big boxes, the Llewellyn boxes, and they don't come with their own little tuck boxes on the inside. The decks are just loose because you can't carry that around with you anywhere. So right now it's just a drawstring bag. I always like when my bags are finished on the inside. I don't like the raw seams and material rubbing up on the edges of my deck. Right now I think this is my Pamela Coleman Centennial kicking around in here. And then, oh, speaking of bags, the All That Is Divination deck came in a limited edition bag, which is awesome. And it had that cute little thing sealed. I managed to open this without having to break the wax seal that came with it. So that was really exciting for me. That I managed to do something without completely destroying it. It was actually kind of a big deal. And then retail boxes. This is one of my favorite mass-produced boxes of all time. So when you get Wild Unknown Tarot, it comes in a big black box that has the keepsake book, and then this little box that the tarot actually rides around in. It's got finger cutouts on the top of the box. The interior of the clamshell is finished. I love two-part clamshells. They protect your deck the best. But I hate when they're not finished on the inside and it's just brown cardboard. It's just kind of ho-hum. And then the other thing that I really love about this box, and it's such a small detail, is this ribbon to help lift the cards out of the deck. I almost dropped cards everywhere. So yeah, this has to be one of my most favorite deck boxes of all time, and it's not just because I love the tarot so much, but it's because this box has been riding around mercilessly in my bag every day since I received it over a year ago, and it has very little wear. It's got a little bit of rounding on the corners, but that is about it. So thumbs up to Harper Elixir again, one of my favorite deck manufacturers, and they only have the Wild Unknown and then the Animal Spirit Oracle coming out, and that boggles my mind because it's so fantastic. Everybody should be publishing with them. Anyway, and then the two most special deck boxes that I own would be my Il Meneghello boxes that were handmade by Maestro Meneghetti. So these usually come in I actually have handy one of his mass-produced boxes. He doesn't do too many handmade boxes anymore. You have to pay extra for those now. Not that you didn't have to pay extra for them in the first place, but you have to request them. The decks no longer just come in handmade boxes, and they are absolutely beautiful. So you have to email his daughter and you have to request them. This is like out of control gorgeous. So these I actually don't use these particular decks too much. These are strictly for collecting. I do have the mass-produced versions of the box, only because I do want to be able to use them, but those are just so special. I am afraid to use them, so we wind up in this weird no man's land where I really want to use it, and I don't have to worry about it because now I just got these guys. So anyway, those are my favorite deck storage boxes, I guess. I wouldn't even know where to begin or what to call them. But yeah, I don't mind a tuck box. I love a good tuck box. These are super easy to carry around and ride around in your bag. I do mind when a tuck box is a weak piece of bullshit. Looking at you, Game Crafter. But as long as you've got something sturdy that's going to hold up and go along for the ride okay, a tuck box is perfectly fine too. I'm not somebody that, buys a separate bag for each of my decks. I just haven't really felt the need. I might make a couple of bags. I picked up some really cool fabric, so I might bust out the sewing machine and experiment with making some bags at some point, but if that ever happens, I'll update you guys. But that is all I really have for you for deck storage, and I will see you tomorrow, Terrasphere. Have a good night. Bye.